Sarah Lale here. Hello. Finally, today I'm going to be giving you my tips to applying for jobs and getting it. So if you've been looking for tips on how to apply for jobs and you've been confused about what to do, I'm going to help you out. I didn't do this video sooner because I felt like this is a no-brainer. Everybody should know how to apply for jobs, but obviously it isn't, because I've had a lot of people reach out to me and ask. And even recently, a student of my writing class reached out to me because I sent her a job to apply for, and she asked me, how do I apply for this? And I was surprised because I expected that it was a no-brainer. So now that I know that there are people who do not know how to apply for jobs, I really want to give my tips. And why do I think my tips will work? Well, I have been applying for jobs since I was in university. Actually, I've always been applying for jobs. I think I took it a step higher when I started freelancing about 2 to 3 years ago. Since that time, I'm sure I've applied for more than 2,000 jobs. I don't want to exaggerate by saying 5,000, but it's possible. So I've applied to a lot of jobs and I've gotten some, I didn't get some. So I'm going to be telling you how to apply for a job and get it. And also, apart from being at the other side of hiring, that's apart from being a job searcher or a job applicant, I've also worked in the HR department for some companies that I've worked with. While working as a writer, I doubled as an HR. I got applications from people that were looking to get jobs. Yeah, so I believe that I can help you out. Some of the things I've noticed while getting people's applications, I'm going to be mentioning them here, just to help you. I also saw a tweet on Twitter recently where somebody said that, I don't know if it was a he or she, but let's use a he. So he said that for many years now, I don't know how long, I think since 2019 or so, that since he finished school, he had not gotten any job and he has been applying. How is that even possible? Yeah, it's possible, because I've seen a lot of applicants cover letter and resume, and when you see when you are at the receiving end, like an HR or an hiring manager, you see that there are many people that do not know how to apply. So I'm going to be helping you out today. What am I going to be helping you with? In order for you to apply for a job and get it, here are the factors that will determine if you get a job. Okay, now if you see a job, this is my dream job, I want to get it. Here are the factors that will determine if you get the job. 1, you have a well-written resume that is tailored for the job, or that is tailored to the job description. That's 1. 2, you have a well-written cover letter that is tailored for the job description. 3, you didn't use AI in any of your documents. And for some other people, you might have to take a test. Sometimes the interviews are in different stages, and sometimes before the interview, you might be asked to take a test, depending on what you're applying for, in order for them to know that you really know what you say you know. That's another factor. 5, you know how to follow up without being too excessive. 6, you know how to prepare for an interview. 7, you know how to ace an interview. 8, you know what to do after an interview. 9, you know how to handle rejection if you don't get the job, and you know how to move on. So these are the 9 things I'll be talking about here. If you can do these 9 things, then you definitely get the job. This is coming from someone who have gotten the opportunity to work with different companies and organizations from different parts of the world. So I believe that if you follow some of these tips, now don't follow it verbatim. Yeah, that's another thing I feel like people do, especially now that we'll be talking about resume. I get a lot of people ask me for my resume, and that's good. You can get someone's resume. If you see that the person is really good at what she does, you can download him or her resume. However, it is very wrong to copy someone's resume verbatim. You should be enlightened enough to know how to edit their resume style to include your own information. That's very important. And I wouldn't be saying this if I had not seen someone who copied my resume verbatim. When applying for a job, the job description is the most important part of applying for a job. Before applying for a job, you must thoroughly read and understand the job description. If not, you might not get the job. And these are some of the issues that a lot of people face. So if Now, for someone like me that apply for about 10 jobs per day or per week, if you are like that, it's possible that you might not have the strength to get a specific resume. However, whenever I want a job very badly, I always resort to making a unique resume for that job, but it's not compulsory. So I have like just one resume, because I usually just apply for one type of job that is, in the writing genre or in the writing industry. So it's very easy for me to submit my resume and it will meet up. Do you get what I'm saying? However, if you really, really want this specific job, you need to get a unique resume and ensure that you do not use AI. Don't use AI for your resume. You can use it to get ideas, but ensure that you can put your humanity in the resume. I don't know if that makes sense. Ensure that when it is scanned for AI, it will not show that there is AI there, because you put the humanity will always show in written words. So ensure that you do not use AI to write verbatim. That's important. And also follow the job description verbatim when applying for a job. It is important, especially if you are applying for a specific job, ensure that some of the keywords in the job description are showing. Maybe in the job description they ask that tools like Grammarly, tools like Slack, tools like MS Word or MS Suite, tools like Google Suite, all those tools for creating, or tools tailored for your job, regardless of what job you do. CapCut, maybe for video editors. If you know that you're applying for a particular industry, you must know that your resume must have those tools, the tools tailored for that. Now, I do not know the tools for every industry, but I know the tools for my industry. So for someone who does writing like me, or who does SEO writing like me, some of the tools that I must have in my resume are SEO tools like Ahrefs, SEMrush, and I must have Grammarly, very important. I must have Google Docs, I must have MS Word, and even sometimes I don't have MS Word because I just had MS Suite in case my client does not want me to use Google Docs, they want me to use MS Suite, which is quite rare. Now, do you get? So there are so many other tools like that are tailored to your industry. It must be in your resume. Another thing is that your resume must be in order. Ensure to check it that there are no gaps in between. There was a time I kept sending out resumes and I noticed I was not getting feedback. So I checked my resume and I realized I had some gaps and they were not even in order. So it might get confusing for the hiring manager. It is important to align it. If you worked from 2019 to 2020, write it there. Okay, I worked for Sarah's company 2019 to 2020. Then 2021, I worked for Microsoft from 2021 to 2024. Like that, it needs to go. So it's either you let it go in ascending or descending order, if that makes sense. Yeah, so that is a very important part of your resume. And also include the things you like, put more action in the things that you did. Don't let it be passive. Don't put it like I've actually seen quite a lot of resumes in my lifetime while helping people with their resumes, and they are very funny sometimes. Don't use passive words, and ensure that when you are writing your resume, you put the description about how you helped. Okay, you worked for Sarah's company as a content writer. What were the things you were doing for Sarah at the time? Don't just put blog writer, graphic designer. No, don't do that. That does not make sense. So what you have to do is explain it there. Facilitated or optimized SEO articles for blog content 2 to 3 times a week, something like that. And ensure that a lot of your sentences, or the first sentence, always starts with ed. Very important. So it shows what you are doing, and it also shows that it's in past tense. I don't know if that makes sense. Even if it's in present, always write it in past tense. Worked, facilitated, optimized, cleared, what was it again? Adhered. Ensure that it's in ed. Very important. It's important to always follow these guides. Ensure that you do not copy other people's resume, because it will show when you go for an interview and you're asked questions about your resume. Someone is going to ask you, oh, so time you did this. If you are not the one that did that resume, or maybe even if someone did your resume for you, you need to go back and read your resume and look at it, that oh, this and that, and ensure that you do not lie on your resume, because if you lie on your resume, it will always show. It will show. Interviewers will ask you these questions. One of the first jobs I got when I finished service, so in case you are not from Nigeria, there's this 1 year service that Nigerians go to after they finish school. When I finished the first full-time job I got after service, my resume was basically what they used to interview me. They put my resume on the big screen and they started asking me about it word for word. They started asking, oh, you blogged for 5 years, how did you do that? And I explained. You did this, how did you do that? Oh wow, you did this. There was even a time I used to put the languages I know there. So I put that I can speak a little Korean and I can speak English well, and Yoruba, because that's my native language, and which I don't think is important now anymore, but then I put it, and then it actually triggered a conversation with me and the hiring managers or the interviewers. They asked, oh, you can speak Korean, how were you able to do that? And I said that, oh, I loved speaking, I loved watching K-drama, and I started learning on my own, and they were impressed. So if you have something impressive that goes with the job, then why not add that to it? But ensure that you don't put something that you cannot do. So it's very important to not lie. If you can speak a language but you're not very good, you can just put that you have basic knowledge of the language. But I really do not think language speaking is essential when applying for jobs. So that's that for resume. And also ensure that you have your resume in PDF, you have a resume in doc, so you can easily send it to anyone who is asking. Next one is your cover letter. Cover letters are very, very important. Now I have this tip that I used to write my cover letter, and number one tip is make sure your cover letter is tailored to your job description. Very important, like I said before. So I'm going to be showing you a cover letter on the screen now, and we're going to look at the job description and we'll figure out how the cover letter came by. So these cover letters got me jobs. Do you get? So I'm not just putting it on screen. I got jobs through these cover letters. That is why I'm using them for this video. For this first one, I can't remember where I saw the job description, but they were looking for an English copywriter. So one thing I always look out for in cover letters, like I said before, the job description is very important. So I always read the job description very, very well, verbatim. When I do, then I look out for number one, the tone. Some job descriptions that are very formal, right? When you want to reply with your cover letter, what you need to do is to sound the way they sound. Use the tone they use. Are you getting me? So if somebody starts like with, oh, we love to join our family, oh, we love to have fun and work, there, when you are writing that cover letter, you need to put in some fun. I've seen some cover letters that they would even say that you should crack a joke, make them laugh. They even say, please, we're not serious here, we're very fun people and we want to have fun while working. Ensure to always notice the tone. So there was this particular job I applied for, and the first question they asked in the job description was, are you our new English copywriter? And when I wanted to start my cover letter, I started with, yes, I am your new English copywriter. It shows that you read the job description. It shows that you know what they are doing there. It captivates the person checking your cover letter. And so I just wanted to bring that out there. So let's go now to the job description and the one I spoke about before. I covered the name of the companies, for privacy and everything. All right, so this one, they said the editorial team is looking for a writer to contribute list articles about small towns across North America. We are also interested in hiring someone to contribute articles about history or economics, a bit about who we are. So they explained what they do and everything. I didn't think it was important, so I removed it. All right, so the next is what writing for us looks like. Yeah, you can write as many articles as you would like. Anyways, you can see it on the screen, right? So let me just bring out what I did, like my cover letter, so you can see what we're talking about. How did I start? I started with the company's name. Then I said, you have found the writer you've been searching for. Can you see? I believe that so you can use anything. I believe that draws them in. Like, what does she mean by that? What, like, it's not something you see every day, so it definitely draws them in. And I said I'm a content writer with 8 years of experience writing and editing for online and print publications, a thorough researcher, and a passionate travel lover. Now, this first paragraph can make or mar you, so it's very important for you to use a paragraph that they can relate to. So if you look back, let's look back at the things that they wanted. You see that in the job description, they wrote it there that applicants must be highly motivated and possess the following requirements: relevant experience in writing and editing, prior experience writing for an online or print publication is strongly preferred. And what did I start with? I started with, I am a content writer with 8 years of experience writing and editing for online and print publications. Can you see that? And you would also see in the job description that they said that they needed a researcher. They don't just want a writer, they want a researcher. And if you see here also, I am a researcher and a passionate travel lover. So of course it's a travel writing job, so you need to put your keyword travel there. It's compulsory. I hope this will also help you, like, for other jobs. So I'm sharing this because this is my own industry, but it works the same for any other industry. The key is follow the tone of the job description. Ensure that the keywords in the job description are in your cover letter. Very important, like 100. If it's in your cover letter, you fly, like you will thrive. Okay, so I also wrote something they did not ask me. It's important to put something, like, let it not be like you just copied the job description and pasted it. Put something they didn't ask you, add flavor to your cover letter. I am passionate about destinations, small towns, and the history of places. Can you see? They said they needed someone for, destination writing for North America, history, blah, blah, blah. And I said over the last 5 years, 5 years experience, I just inculcated it simply. I have spent my days researching the history of the Americans and Africans, asking many questions and writing my discoveries for the online media. Now, these are very true. This is something I'm personally passionate about, so I included it, and of course, it drew the hiring manager in. As an avid traveler, now I just included now that I do not only write, I also travel. Who does not want a traveler? That's someone that is living in the industry. Who doesn't? Everyone does. All right. So as an avid traveler, I've also learned a variety of travel tips, itineraries, and guides that I have shared with readers and fellow travel lovers. I have come across that. So now, another thing is that I have come across their sites before while I was, doing my research, and I included it there because if there is one thing hiring managers love, they love someone who already knows about them or someone who has an idea. So another tip I will give you is that when you are applying for a job, ensure to read about the company. In fact, I never apply for a job unless I have read about the company. Read about their company. That's why I don't like people that their job description is very shadowy. It's so hard to apply to them because the job description will really help you to know how to tailor your cover letter and your resume. So I already checked their site. I realized, oh, this is a quite popular site, and then I included it that I have come across your company in one of my research, and the articles there have been beneficial. If there is one thing I know how to do the most, I know how to compliment. In fact, it has saved me a lot in my line of work. I always compliment, even when an editor edits my work and she gives a negative feedback. Of course, the editors are always really nice, but if an editor edits my work and gives a negative feedback, I always compliment. I'll be like, thank you so much for, editing my work and for your nice, like, your feedback was very essential. I needed it. I want to get better. Trust me, that's how you keep a job. All right, next. I'll be enthusiastic to contribute to the articles on your site if given the opportunity. I will dedicate myself to thorough research and engaging original writing that will provide valuable information to your readers and keep them coming. And then I added my 3 samples. And then I said I am interested in writing these articles about small towns across North America. I would also like to write for your history section. Now let me tell you what I just did. The samples then I am interested. I would also like, let me tell you why I did that. Let's go back to the job description. In the job description, there is an application requirement. This is why you must thoroughly read your job description, because you might think that, oh, all you need to do is just write a cover letter and resume and submit, or maybe you just, no, always check what the application requirement is. That is what I always do. So if you look down, you'd see that the first application requirement is a CV. Check. The second is 2 to 3 samples of your previous work that are relevant to their company's content. And now if you see, I just gave them 3 samples. If I could have given them 10, but that's another thing. Even if you have 10, do not give them 10. Give them 2 to 3 like they said. Now it's good to give them 3 just to show that you pass over and beyond. Check, check, check. Do you get? But do not give them more than 3. And you can even give them 2. As far as they are wonderful articles, you would get the job. All right, so another thing they asked for is, in addition, please include the topics you are most interested in writing about. So if you see from the beginning, they said it's here that they need a list writer and they need someone to contribute to their history and economics. And I included there that I would love to write list articles. And I would love to write for a history section. I don't want to write for economics, just history. Does that make sense? Great. All right, so... And another requirement again, they said if you are applying for the history or economics writer position, you must have completed at least a bachelor's degree in history, economics, or such relevant field. Yeah, great. So as you can see, that's what the job description is about, and that was what I included. However, there was another thing that they included again. They needed a short sample, very short sample, just to show that you really know what you're doing, so they will not waste their time. And I give them a short sample. The short sample is, tell us about your favorite small town. And I whooped something up. Trust me, you can only do this if you are skilled. I whooped something up right there and I submitted it. So this is why you really need to be skilled, because especially if you are in an industry where you need to do tests, it's important to do this. And of course, I got this job. Yeah, so I'm just letting you know that this is a winning cover letter. The tips are, follow the job description and requirement verbatim, especially if you are asked to fill a form. Imagine those who filled the whole form, sometimes they do not even get the job. What about you that you did not even fill the whole form? Trust me, you will not even be seen. You will not get the job. So it is important, if there is a form, fill everything, go over and beyond. Ensure to always go over and beyond your cover letter, but don't go to over and beyond. You get, follow what they want and then add some extra things so that they will know that you are not a robot, that you are human, and these are your humanly experiences. This is very important to note. Right, let me show you another cover letter which is quite different. So this is a more generic cover letter that I use a lot. So I just change a few things whenever I want to apply. And so this was for a copy and blog writing specialist. As I am applying for because there was nothing, there was no question, nothing that I could use. So I started with, I'm applying for the position of a blog and copywriter in your digital marketing agency. You need to put all the words. I saw that they were a digital marketing agency, so I put that. After carefully reading the job description, I am confident I am a great fit for this role. Very important to put that. It's just cool. All right, the next is, I am a skilled blog copywriter with experience writing blog posts, landing pages, service pages, email copies for digital marketing agencies and businesses. So just, reading through, you see that I am putting my experience, even the ones that I was not asked, I put it there. And also, there is this one that I always like to include, which is my expertise and, the things that I have done. So I put it there, that especially just to show that I will not just write there that I'm an SEO writer or I'm a skilled and expert SEO writer. I will also write there that these are the things I have done as an SEO writer. These are my results. With over 15 of my written articles ranking on the first page of Google for their respective keywords and a record of ranking on Google SERP in 5 days in the last 1 year, I am confident of my SEO writing ability and Google ranking skills. So it is important to add that. I ensure the final content is original, engaging, persuasive, and plagiarism-free. Also, they asked some questions there, and I said I could meet deadlines, I could work in a fast-paced and fully remote environment, and I possess effective communication skills, and I'm available to start work with short notice. And I didn't end there. I put in the tools that I could, use. I could use MS Office Suite, Google Docs, Grammarly, SEMrush, Ahrefs, and content management systems like WordPress, HubSpot. And you know, WordPress is like the most common CMS, so yeah. And also, I concluded it, as you can see on the screen. And then I put in my samples because I put in my portfolio. I was asked to put in my portfolio link, and then I did. So these are the point is, the tip that you must follow is, number one, ensure to inculcate the job description in your cover letter. Very important. Put your humanity. Also show your expertise. Don't just write about your expertise. Show it through your writing. Very important for your cover letter. If you can do all this, then 70% of the time you get called for an interview or to write a test. After submitting, ensure that you do not follow up. Okay, now you submitted your CV, cover letter and everything. Let it be. You can stay for like 2 weeks before reaching out. Sometimes I don't even reach out. No, I believe that if you want, like if I qualify for the job, you reach out to me. So I do not reach out after submitting my application. I do not reach out. If they do not reach out to you, you do not qualify. Move on. Apply for other jobs. One thing I always do to get over a job application that my mind has been on that I want to do is applying for another job. So that way my focus will get shifted too. And sometimes it's not because your resume or cover letter is bad. It's just because you are not fit for them at the time, or there's someone more fit for you. Or sometimes maybe they decided they are not hiring for now. They will not reach out to everybody that submitted. Well, sorry, we're not hiring for now. Nah, they won't. So yeah, sometimes it's like that. And sometimes I've received answers after a month, 2 months, 3 months. Crazy, but yeah, it happens. So you need to, figure out how to move on. Don't follow up. Next one is how to prepare for an interview. You need to know how to prepare for an interview. However, I'm going to be doing like a separate video for that. The next one will be, if you do get the job, how to prepare for an interview. So look forward to it. I'm going to be doing a video on that in my next video. So ensure that you like, you subscribe, and you leave a comment. And yeah, subscribe so that when I upload the next video, you'll see it there. So the take home today is that you can get that job you're applying for, but ensure that your resume, your cover letter is intact, like I just told you about. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I will be answering questions. And also, while your resume and cover letter is intact, also ensure that you have the right mindset, you have the right attitude. How much do you want this job? It will show when you're writing your cover letter. I'm telling you, I know there are jobs that I want so much, and when I'm writing my cover letter, my passion would show in my job description, or rather in my cover letter. However, the jobs that I'm not very enthused about, my passion will not show, and I get those kind of jobs 20% of time. So yeah, that's why it's important for you to have the right mindset. Do not use AI to write your work verbatim. You can get ideas for AI, but do not use AI verbatim. No, that's not nice. Ensure that you know what's in your resume. It's okay to tell someone who is more skilled or expert to help you with your resume. However, do not ensure that you read your resume before applying for any job. And when you do write your cover letter, ensure that you let your job description guide you, and be human. Express yourself humanly. And even if they want jokes and the tone is funny, ensure that you do not sound like you're talking to your friend. Still be formal, but you can add in a little joke here and there depending on the tone of the job description. Also, ensure to fill in forms. Some applications come in forms, so they want you to fill in a form. Ensure to fill in the form completely. Very important. And also, if they have requirements, if there's something they need you to do it. When you do it, if they might not even check everything completely, but the fact that you followed all the instructions, they will want to get to know you. So do that and get your foot in the door. And then in my next video, we're going to be talking about how to ace that interview if you do get an interview. Thank you for staying with me. Sarah Lale once again. Bye.